Woo, baby. The brand new-ish. The Lomography wide glass. Yeah, this baby right here is packed with a glass lens and a few awesome features. So let's break this camera down, learn all about the cool features, specs, and if it's good. Let's get into it.
You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris.
Wide format is my favorite instax film to shoot. It's awesome. I love it. I've been shooting with the 200 and the 300 from Fuji, and it's pretty great. But those cameras are very limited in their features, meaning you pretty much don't have much control over your shots at all. You really only have exposure compensation, and that's about it. And that's where Lomography steps in. This thing is loaded with features. This is their latest release, which is the glass version of their wide camera. This is the previous model, which is just the regular wide with a plastic lens. And full disclosure, Lomography actually sent me both of these cameras separate times. They let me keep this one, which was amazing. Thank you, Lomography. I love you guys. But this one is just on loan. I don't get to keep it. They're just letting me do this video. And in fact, if you want to see a real world in-depth use of this, where I pit it against the previous model, but mostly the Instax 300, be sure to check out the next video where I go out, shoot in various different weather conditions, and really test this thing out to find out if it's really, really good. So stay tuned for that. In this video, we're just gonna be covering the specs, what you get, a little overview. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the camera. Now, when you look at the cameras, there are some differences just right out of the gate. One, the lenses, obviously. The glass has a much bigger lens, a lot bigger, and is glass. Now, you'll notice that there are 4 focus zones on the wide glass, and on the previous model, there's only 3. And the additional focus range on the glass is macro, like a close-up. You could do that with this one, but I believe it was an attachment they had to put on the front of the lens. They didn't send me that one. And the other thing I'm noticing is there's no selfie mirror on the glass, like the previous model. I'm wondering with this lens that it just wasn't possible to do. I'm not sure. Now, the other thing that I didn't notice right away actually is how the strap connects. On the glass, you connect it to the left and the right, just like you do on pretty much every camera out there. On the previous model, however, it hung on the side, which I think I kind of like a little bit better. Personal preference, I suppose. The other difference you'll find is on the back, and that is looking at the settings. On the original model, you had power, you had auto, bulb mode, and fixed shutter at 1/30th of a second. On the glass, the new model, you'll see an extra setting. You've got power, auto, bulb, and the new feature of f/22. Yeah, you can fix your aperture at f/22. That is amazing. And then you still have the 1/30th of a second for the shutter speed. f/22 mode, I think, is really exciting. This camera tends to struggle in like really harsh sunlight. If it's like a super bright sunny day, I tend to get a little bit overexposed shots in the highlights, and f/22 being able to fix that might help in sunlight. We're gonna test that when I take it out in the real world in-depth review, so stay tuned for that. But all the other settings are the same. It has flash, double exposure, exposure compensation up and down, or known as -1 and +1, or even on the Instax, lighten and darken. Still has a tripod mount on the bottom, which comes in handy for bulb mode. And the other thing that I did notice on both cameras is on the bottom. On the new camera, which is the glass, has a little extra foot to help keep the camera from toppling forward when you're setting it down. The previous model doesn't have that because, well, it doesn't need it. This is a little bit more front heavy. There's a little more heft with this camera, and the focus ring, or the dial, whatever you want to call it, the housing of the glass lens, it's metal versus plastic on the original one. Still runs on the same batteries, which is just AA batteries. It uses 4 of them. And it does have a lens cap for the remote. It does work on both cameras, except the new diameter of the glass lens, they had to change it to where it fit. It won't fit on the previous model, but it'll still function. You can still use it on both, which if you got both, that's kind of nice. And it does come with the splitzer. Yeah, brand new one. The splitzer will allow you to expose partial shots of your photos, which is pretty cool. You can get some creative shots. You can take kind of double exposures without exposing the full frame of your shot. I haven't really used this, but it's cool that it has it. Now, real quick, I just discovered this, and you'll see this in the next video when I release the in-depth review of the glass. There's a feature on here that I never knew about. Maybe it's a happy accident. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be a feature. It just kind of was. But if you take a look at the bottom of the original release, corner or the bottom edge is slanted at an angle. And you can actually balance your camera at an angle so you can take selfie shots of yourself on a table. How cool is that? I never knew that. I found out by complete accident. That's super cool. I don't know if it was supposed to be that way or it was just a happy accident, but either way, really cool discovery. Now, the glass also has the same like molded edge like that, but it doesn't work because the lens is way too heavy. Those are all the differences that I've seen with the glass versus the original release. If you know one that I don't know about, let me know in the comments below. I'd be really curious to see. Now, I guess there is one more, but it's really specific just to this camera because they've added that extra focus range for the close-up inside the viewfinder, which it also comes out. But if you look through it, there's a new little window to frame your shot, like a close-up, which is pretty cool. Here are just a couple photos I was able to get with this. These shots are mind-blowing, I think. Wow, they're amazing. Sharp, crisp, saturated. It did handle the highlights a lot better than the previous model, which is so nice to see. Again, if you want to see the full breakdown and real world use of this, be sure to stay tuned for the next video. And I head out and shoot with the 300, more specifically, my friend Caleb comes along with me. He shoots with the 300 and we go out and shoot and kind of compare. And the reason I chose this camera is because, well, because it's the closest Fuji camera that has some ability to try and stand a chance against this camera. And that's just because it has exposure compensation. And the 400, which is a brand new one, it doesn't have that. So that's why I wanted to do it. So consider subscribing and check back for that video. Now, what I really want to do is pit this camera against one other camera, and that is the Mint RF70. Yes, these are the only two cameras currently on the market that you can shoot instax wide film with a glass lens. Yes. However, this hunk of junk will cost you 1,000 bones. That's dollars, by the way. Dollars. And this will only cost you $270. Yeah, still not cheap, but actually it's a pretty good deal. Considering the 300, if you did want to get this one, that's no longer available, and that's going for like close to 300 bucks these days. However, I probably won't be able to do the comparison with the Mint RF70 right now because I do have to send this camera back. Once I do send it back, I'm definitely going to be picking this up for myself because it's so cool. I definitely want this camera. I'm in love with it. And this just needs to get thrown in the garbage. That thing is a piece of crap. Just saying. And I did pay for this. This was not censored. I own this. This is mine. Oh, sorry, Mint. The only thing I like from you guys is the Mint Flash Bar tube. Love it. Use it all the time. Anyway, I digress. This is awesome. Do you have one? Are you going to get one? Let me know in the comments below, and I would love to know your thoughts. Until next time, thank you so much for checking out today's video, and I'll catch you in the next video. Now, get out there. Make some more.